Hi, this is Dennis. I'm going to review the Loop B assignment, or otherwise known as the number guessing game. If you haven't written this assignment, you shouldn't be watching this video. You'll only be cheating yourself. So leave. If you have written it, or if you were trying to write it and were having problems, or you just wanted to see a different version of it, that's what I'm about to show you. So my program begins. It begins like all programs begin with a comment header with my name, the date I wrote it, and a brief description of what it's all about. And as you know, this is Loop B, which is the number guessing game. So outside of my comment header, I need to import one library file, which is the random library. I need that because I'm generating random numbers within this code. So I have my variables here. I may have extra variables, like for example, min and max. That's the range of the random number. In case I ever want to modify this game and have them guess between a -100 and a +100 or whatever, I just change these two numbers. The current guess is my tracker of how many guesses they've used. I'm sorry, my current guess is the current guess that they are entering. This is the number of guesses they've used. This is how many guesses they have at maximum. And then I have two Boolean, one keep going and one play again. So my play again is after the game ends, if they want to do it again. So that's my outer loop. And then I have this inner loop, which keeps allowing them to play the current game until an event occurs. And we'll talk about that below. So here's a peek of my outer loop and my inner loop. This outer loop is restarting an entire game. In other words, I'm generating a new random number. I'm resetting my keep going to true. I'm resetting my guess counter. And I'm resetting a variable, my Boolean variable called guessed it, back to false. In other words, they didn't guess it yet. And as you can see, this is the beginning of my inside loop. This is one version of the game. So I keep going until keep going is false. The first thing I do is I increment my guess counter, and then I built this string so that I can use it inside of my input. You could have done this with a print and then an input. I chose to do this. So this is a little interesting, not a big deal. I'll let you look at that particular statement here, but it's done so that I could use this message here. So I'm going to prompt them, and then they're going to enter a number. I'm going to convert that number to an integer, and I'm going to store it here. Now I'm going to start to compare. Did they guess it right? If they guessed it right and they have guesses remaining, then I'm going to say keep going is false, and yes, they guessed it. And then the last thing I'll do is I'll prompt them to say, hey, you win. You win, you guessed the number, 77, for example, in only 3 guesses. So if they didn't guess it, well, then there's 2 other possibilities. And those are they guessed too low or they guessed too high. So here, if their guess is less than the number, then they guessed too low, they have to guess higher, and I tell them that. If their guess if their guess is too low, otherwise, if it's not too low, then they guess too high. I still make sure there's guesses remaining, and I tell them they guess too high, guess lower. If this isn't true, and this isn't true, and this isn't true, and basically what that means is they ran out of guesses. If they ran out of guesses, I set keep going to false. I don't want to go again in this while loop up here. I tell them, sorry, you ran out of guesses, and then I'm kind enough to tell them what the number was. Down on the bottom, I ask them if they want to do this again, and notice I prompt them to enter Y to play again or N to stop. What that really means is Y to play again, anything else to stop. I take this again and I convert it into an uppercase letter, so I treat a big Y and a little y the same thing. And then I test. If again equals a capital Y, because I already made it a capital Y, then play again, this Boolean variable equals true, otherwise it equals false. So if it equals true, I'm going to come all the way back up here, and I'm going to play again, resetting my variables and moving on down. Let me show you this run. So this enter guess 1 of 10, number between 1 and 100, and that ties into that min and max. So if I change the lower or the upper bound, this statement will automatically change. So I'm telling them to enter a guess. Let's say they guess 60. You guess too high, guess lower, so they enter 30. You guess too high, guess lower, so it has to be less than 30, so I'll say 15. You guess too high, guess lower, so it's less than 15. I'll try 8. You guess too low, guess higher, so it's between 9 and 14 inclusive, so I'll go 11. I guess too low, so it's either 12, 13, or 14, so I'll try 13. You win, you guessed it in 6 guesses. You want to play again, yes or no? If they say why, guess a number between 1 and 10. I wish the Python had a clear screen, but Python's really is meant to output to a like a pop-up window in Windows, for example. But that's beyond the scope of this class. You can create a little function called clear, and all that would do is scroll the screen. I'll be back. Okay, just a real quick summary. Thanks for watching the video. You need to email me, Dennis, with questions or issues. You know my phone number. Call me, email me, text me. You need to attend the weekly Monday Zoom meeting at 3 p.m. You need to watch, read, and do those videos. And finally, this should be fun. It really should be fun. Programming's fun. So have some fun. See you next time.